All right, H501S. It's only Hubsan we own. Got a couple of them. Standard controller. We're gonna fire up, do some flips and rolls. First off, this is the first time we fired up, so you got to give it some time. I'm gonna fire it up and let the satellites come in there. I usually give the handset a little bit, the transmitter a little bit, and we'll calibrate. First calibration always takes a little bit. It seems after you swap batteries, it's a lot faster. It's the nature of GPS. Even pulling the battery, it seems to keep a little bit of memory from the GPSs. Even when you turn off the handheld, fire it back up, your GPS usually pops back in there pretty fast. But this first time, it's best to take time. I've whipped through it before, and then you have issues. You'll have problems, so it won't be as stable. We already have 3, so it's not going to take too long. Make sure when you first plug in too, it's the gyro. You have to be somewhat level out the gyro. The sidewalk has a slant to it, so we're going to go level out up here. We've only got 3 there. We're up to 5, so I'm going to plug in here. Okay, so we'll let that gyro set, let it pick up some satellites. The transmitter's over there still communicating. Finally got a break in the weather. It might rain on us. We're trying to get this in here real quick because I've had a couple of my videos, guys have claimed that they don't believe it's the 501. They think it's some other drone, I guess. But this is for one to prove it's the 501. We have some triple blades on there. You'll notice too. Kind of cheating a little bit. We like them better than That's the one problem with this drone is it does have larger props, and it's a really light drone. But your legs are also you have quite a wide wheelbase, I guess you'd say. So it does tend to be affected a little bit by the wind. It can get a little crazy, especially when you get on the throttle. And we found the triple blades handle that. It's a smaller triple blade. They're 60-45s versus your stock blades are more like they're 7.5 inch or so, something like that. And they cause a lot of whip. If you come in fast, they'll tend to jump around, especially if you put a lot of throttle. You drop in quick and put a lot of throttle. These cut through the air a lot better. So you go a little bit smaller blade, but triple, and you get a lot of lift. So I'm sure we've got enough satellites in there. I'm not even going to go do it. Calibrate. There we go, green. We're green. Calibrate. We're good. Do first off a couple of flips here real fast. Okay. Thing I want to show here too is manual mode. Every time I fly now, you set your controller, hold down and press and hold. Get in the system menu, set manual, yes. I usually set this fly no GPS, yes, also in case it drops. I've had it act weird with when you lose GPS, so we're flying manual. Still got GPS, hold on. I like to take off that way. Notice when I flip down, which is usually altitude hold, it'll actually show manual mode. We are full manual. You still have gyro support, but no GPS assistance. That's where you can flip and stuff. So we're going to take off in GPS hold, arm our motors. We're armed. And let's take off. Take off in GPS, see how our calibration looks good. Kind of watch it, see if it jumps around. Let's turn the LEDs on. This first time I fly too, I like to let it settle a little bit. We're in GPS mode still. This is your standard. GPS mode keeps you at a certain speed too. It's slow. So we're looking good. So you can move around. So GPS very slow. I only use it as a fail-safe, taking off and landing, or if I get into trouble. Yeah, little LEDs on it. So go manual. Hubsan. Go manual. do some rolls. Oh, we got somebody on it. Let me go. Don't want to be dangerous here. Be safe. Notice here, full manual, you started, your throttle starts at the bottom. When you're, it already takes taken off. So you have to control your throttle. In manual, you can actually kill the motors. Anytime you can kill the motor like that, you can do flips and rolls. So let's do a roll. Very simple. Right roll. Very easy. We'll do a forward flip. Drop it in here. You basically, you're gunning the throttle in one direction, whip it the other way and chop the throttle. So gun it, chop throttle. See, whip it one way. The concept is called throwing. You're throwing the drone. Practice that, it's very easy. It's just small inputs. Don't get crazy with the input sticks. Just a little gun it, chop it. And let the stick come back up. Don't throttle back up, because then it's, when you come down, you throttle up hard, it gets a little crazy like that. It's got a lot of power in manual mode. You come down, let's see some punch out here. Let's gun it. It's got some go when you, and then whip her around. Flip it. Stall. So, gotta learn manual mode. Still in manual. Bring it down. It also doesn't have, with these 60-45, doesn't have quite as much thrust. But that's all right, it's more nimble. The two-bladed props do have more speed, more thrust, but it gets a little crazy. See, much more stable. It's very windy out here right now. And your triple blades, smaller triple blades will handle a lot better. The trick is too, when you're trying to practice this stuff, keep it pointed away from you. It's a lot easier to keep your orientation. And when you're trying to do your flips and rolls, don't yaw a lot, like that, you know, with your, don't rudder left and right. You're just using your throttle stick up and down, and you're rolling and pitching with your right stick. So I'm gonna throttle up and just pull the throttle down, let the sticks come back. Be nice. Come back here. Keep it pointed away from you. Practice holding your altitude. You gotta control altitude in manual mode. It'll handle very smooth if you are smooth. It'll be very jumpy if you're jumpy. A little jumpy there, that's me chopping the throttle, jumping the throttle. Handles very nice with the triple blades. Out of town. Woo! Also remember, in this mode, you are going to chew your battery up a lot quicker. But it's not bad compared to your manual quads. Still get a lot of flight time doing this. Practice runs, practice going and coming back and keeping your altitude. Also notice some battery sag when you're doing this. I'm already getting a little battery sag. The responsiveness is not quite as fast because, oopsie, a little jumpy on the throttle stick there. Does climb very quick. And that's nice too when you're in manual. If you do get a little crazy, and I've done it, you get out there a little ways, you start having trouble with your orientation. See, my lights are turning red, but only when I'm really gunning it. You can still use GPS. You know, don't flip into GPS when you're hauling butt, but like I'll come up here if I'm a little in trouble, slow down a little bit, flip her into GPS, let it kind of level out a little bit. Go ahead and hit return. You can still control if you need to and see where am I pointing? Figure it out, or just hit return home. Still works as long as you flip it back into GPS first. And you give it a sec too, where it can have problems when you flip back into GPS and if you flip return home really quick. You know, don't be so jumpy on any of your controls. Flip into GPS, give it a sec. So really come all the way down. Look how close it is from, let's see how, remember it was on that sidewalk. And also remember, I might hit the tree. When you're buzzing around like that in manual mode, it throws it off a little bit, your gyro and stuff. So you got to let it kind of get back. It's not doing bad there. Let's see how close it is. Oh shit, a little close. I flipped it out of GPS or return home, so I'm right back in GPS and I got control again. I'm in GPS mode, so it's not manual. It fights your controls. If you don't have as much power, that's full thrust there. Also our battery's getting low, but now watch, flip into manual and look at your thrust going. And that's with a battery that's not. So you can full on, even in manual, let's stall it out. Oh, tumble to death. Oh, we're dying. Oh, and just bring the throttle back up nicely. Don't get crazy. The thing actually does pretty well. In manual, you know, GPS, you try to get a little crazy, and it does have problems. It does have some little issues. So, but learn to fly manual, and you'll learn a lot more about flying in general. You get really good at your orientation. Our battery's getting low. We're under 7 volts. We're gonna park it. So let's park in manual mode. There we go, nice and smooth, right on the sidewalk. Windy. Oop, little bobble. That was ugly, but okay. Make sure we're shut down. It doesn't want to shut down. Let's turn back into GPS. Like as soon as I was letting up on the throttle stick, it was throttling up in manual mode. You got to be careful. But there's some flips. Next, before we stop here, we're not going to film this right now, but we're going to play with the new toy. For some upcoming videos, the Eachine Wizard 220, 200 milliwatt, 48 channel video transmitter. Nice camera, tilting camera. I don't have it very aggressive yet because I'm not very good yet, so it's just barely pointed up a little bit. I don't get too aggressive yet, so. Lots of little rubber bumpers on the bottom because I'm not very good landing yet. But we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. We'll do some videos. Hope that helped with some flips and stuff. Basically, anytime you've got a unit that you can cut the throttle, you can do tricks like that. So the difference is your manual, like I need to shut down here, but your manual, you can totally disengage your gyro too. It still does have a gyro by default. It handles a lot like that, but much more stable because you have smaller props and a lot more power. But you disengage the gyro, and that's where you see the guys, you can just zip around, do whatever. You can, once you turn sideways, it's going to stay there until you turn back, turn forward, come whatever. So that's going to be some fun. I don't have a onboard DVR for that yet, so we're going to record some video. We've got our goggles, FPV. It's going to be fun. So see some more videos later. So give it a little more punch while you're up there.
Whoa, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah, almost. Make sure when you chop the throttle, pull it down all the way. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, don't get too crazy. Bring it back under control. Not enough punch still. Whoa. You punch it a little further than that. You're only doing it just for a little bit. You're just doing... There we go. You gotta chop that throttle. Yeah. See, maybe get up a little higher even. You're still not very high up. Get up there. There we go. You get up there high enough, you can chop the throttle for a while and just let it fall. And whip it one way. Yeah. Close. Yeah, you're getting there.
I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, it takes some technique. You gotta flick it just right. Looks like it's controlling okay.
Yeah. Being responsive.
Getting a little crazy.
Been punching enough it wouldn't go all the way around.
How's your battery looking?
Taking it for a landing because it's at 7.
Yeah, you get a little Manual flying does take a lot.